Welcome to another video in which I present a recording in combination with an explanation of the composition. If you do not care about the explanations, see the video description how to skip them. And if, on the contrary, you are interested in the explanations, see the video description for links to the references that I will mention. The piece is a motet for All Saints and was commissioned in 2023 by a choir from Pittsburgh in the United States. Here is a photo of the choir, the Schola of Most Precious Blood of Jesus Parish, with its director John Rokosz. The Schola was so kind to send me a recording, which will be presented in this video. The text is taken from the Roman Catholic liturgy for All Saints and is an excerpt of the Gospel of the day, which are the Beatitudes, that are the blessings that open the Sermon on the Mount. Here's the text with the translation. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Blessed are they that suffer persecution for justice' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The Beatitudes are among the most radical parts of the New Testament. They show a partisan God who is on the side of the poor, the hopeless, the oppressed, the suffering. It is to them that Jesus brings the gospel, the good news, by calling those blessed that have the lowest social status and are considered deplorable by the powerful. Jesus turns the values and hierarchy of the world upside down. This inversion of values is illustrated in my musical setting too. Each of the phrases describing the lowly moves downwards, whereas the promises made to them move upwards. Note also that the top note is reached at the words Dei, God, and later at Celorum, heaven. To assign the word Beati, blessed, musically to the realm of holiness, it is said 3 times as a chant-like intonation. This is an idea that I have already used in an earlier setting of a different beatitude. Blessed are they that mourn. The Beatitudes culminate in the strongest promise, the kingdom of heaven. This corresponds with a continuous increase of intensity in the music. Each blessing is sung at a higher tone and somewhat louder. Eventually, all means of culmination are combined, crescendi, upwards movements, and stepwise higher repeats. At the text Celorum, of heaven, when a forte has been reached, the musical style switches to imitatoric Renaissance counterpoint. This style was in use throughout the 16th century and is still today considered to be the classical example for perfect vocal music. What else is more apt to represent heaven? Admittedly, I have borrowed this idea from an earlier motet too, my setting of Justorum Animae, which, incidentally, is another text from the Liturgy of All Saints. In the present motet, the entry of Renaissance counterpoint is even more effective, because it has been prepared by a long climax, and it is set melismatic instead of syllabic, that is, there are many notes per syllable instead of just one. Most pieces from the so-called propers, that are the chants varying according to the feast or gospel of the day, have a strophic structure. They start with a refrain called antiphon, and have 1 or more stanzas called verses, after which the antiphon is repeated. The verses are chanted on simple recitation tones. Here's the verse suggestion from the Graduale, the liturgical chant book. The verse consists of psalm verses and is thus taken from the Old Testament. This serves a threefold purpose. It shows that Jesus' teaching is deeply rooted in the Old Testament, and it invites to interpret the psalm verses in the light of the New Testament. The third purpose is of a practical nature. For a communion piece like Beati, mundo, corde, it allows to vary the duration by adding or omitting psalm verses in order to suit it to the duration of the communion, which varies with the number of Mass participants. I have set the verse in a simple falso bordone style. This means that the bulk of the text is recited on a single tone or chord, which is followed by a simple polyphonic cadenza. If you want to learn more about this style, See the video description for a link to an entertaining introduction to Falso Bordone. Now, let's listen to the entire piece sung by the Schola Cantorum from Pittsburgh.